game is upon us, and I'm legally barred from saying which one that is, but let's just say if I had a bowl that super, I'd be eating a shit ton of cereal right now. Sports Jerks is live! Let's do it! Yeah! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Sports Jerks, the most persecuted sports show on television. I'm your host, Zach Travis, and with me today, a man who sits to my right more often than anyone else, Mr. Seth Key.
Howdy, America.
And to my left, a man who knows more about Oakland pajama pants than any other human being, Mr. Brandon Varner.
Hey, everybody. How you doing?
Gentlemen, let's get to it! Yeah! The NFL season is long dead, and only the big game remains. The playoffs are designed to make sure the best teams make it to the Super Bowl, for one of them to choke in the third quarter. We're going to start from the beginning, where all the trash heap teams get a chance to blow it in the divisional round. We're talking about the wild cards. Seth, tell me about Arizona and Carolina.
Ryan Lindley is not an NFL quarterback. He's a Make-A-Wish Foundation charity case. He got in that game because of his cancer? I don't know. Anyway, the only thing lower than his yardage is his white blood cell count. Ryan Lindley can't win this game, and he didn't. Good job, Carolina Panthers, NFC South champion. Anyway, that was a dumpster fire. The game's a dumpster fire. It's all terrible. This is terrible. Zach!
Very insightful and truthful analysis from Mr. Seth Key. Brandon, Cam Newton has his first playoff win in his career. What does this mean for the Carolina Panthers?
This means, much like in college, Cam Newton's going to get paid to play football. Back to you, Zach.
$180,000? Sign me up right now. Seth, the NFC South, give me 10 words to describe how terrible they are.
They are the worst division in football.
Good enough for me. Brandon, Big Brandon V, tell me about the Steelers and the Ravens.
You got it, Zach. Steelers and the Ravens is one of the oldest and most storied rivalries that has existed for less time than I have. That's right, y'all. The Ravens have been a team since 1996, which means that in its 19 years of existence, they've won 2 championships to the 6 that Pittsburgh has won in its 82 years of existence. Now, that gives the Steelers an average of 1 championship for every 13.6 years that they've repeated, of course, and that gives the Ravens an average of a championship every 9.5 years, which means that if this rivalry is extrapolated, the Ravens will win a Super Bowl 450 times before the universe dies, and the Steelers may win 2. In this particular contest, the Ravens stood up to the pressure, taking down the Steelers, led by their 2,000-year-old mummy defensive coordinator, Dick LeBeau, resident Viking hobo, Brett Kiesel, and not a rapist, question mark? Brett Kiesel. Wait, Ben Roethlisberger. Well, they're all rapists. Zach, tell us what you know. What do you got? Back to you.
Damn straight. What legally reprehensible commentary you've given us, Brandon. Of course, we got some more questions. Big Ben or January Joe? Who dies or retires first and why? Seth.
Nothing is going to stop Big Ben, allegedly. January Joe has got no chance in this competition. Roethlisberger is going to continue to chuck completions and touchdowns to Antonio Brown or Heath Miller with the Grim Reaper hanging off his back. I give it to Big Ben.
Sounds good to me. Brandon, who's going to fill Troy Polamalu's shoes in all of those shampoo commercials?
I nominate myself, even though I don't use shampoo. I could use the money. Anyway, moving on. Zach, what do you know about the Bengals and the Colts?
Oh, great. The Bengals and the Colts. Who would have thought a third-string reject like Andy Dalton would lose in the playoffs? That's right, folks. If you're keeping score at home, Andy Dalton has won a total of 0 playoff games by throwing an equal number of playoff touchdowns. That's right, 0. Let's put this into perspective. You want to know who he trails behind in thrown touchdowns in a playoff game? That's right, Patriots wide receiver Julian Edelman. But hey, we all know football isn't a team sport, and you can't blame just one man. The Bengals have proven time and time again that there are only two people that ever matter on the team that they're on. That's A.J. Green and whatever freak of nature is in at running back. I mean, how could we expect the Bengals to win if they can only keep Reggie Wayne to an astoundingly bad 1 catch for 12 yards? Of course, they did go up against the future Peyton Manning, Mr. Andrew Luck. And just like the future Peyton Manning, he beat everyone he needed to, except Tom Brady. The last wild card game, and the only one that was any fun to watch. Dallas's high-powered, unstoppable offense and Detroit's unbreakable defensive bastion. Who won and why in this week's Anger Management!
Lyricism! Murray was the
Listen,
linchpin of that
I
offense.
tell you what,
There are 5 guys
Tony
that
Romo
matter
is
in this
still
league
a
That's
at the
wrong.
position of
powerful
quarterback.
and wonderful quarterback.
Tony
Tony
Romo
Romo is a
doesn't
career
deserve
to
and
walk
of
on the
course,
same
not
field
Tony
as
Romo.
Troy
is
Aikman.
the
Everyone
only
hates
I will
reason
bury
that that
an
team
hatchet
is
in
not
your
very
head.
good.
Now, look,
I don't think you should
Matt
talk to me
Stafford's
like
not
that.
actually
I
a
don't
bad
believe
quarterback.
that
Let's
you
look at
know
the
what you're
stats.
talking
He's
about.
thrown a
I
bunch
don't
of
think you know
touchdowns.
it.
That's the last
I don't
thing I
think
want
you
to
know
hear out of
it.
you,
I think you're
Brandon.
stupid.
You don't know
And I think
anything
you're
about
stupid.
football.
I don't think any of you know what
I
you're
don't know
talking
anything
about.
about
Listen,
football.
you
Your
don't know.
mother doesn't know anything about
You don't
football.
know anything about
Probably
football.
not.
Huh?
That's not up for debate.
You want to say
My
that
mother's
my good
football
is?
knowledge
Huh?
is not up for debate. I don't want you guys to look at this.
You're a jerk. You're all jerks. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back. You're all stupid. You don't know what you're talking about. Matt Stafford's going to shoot
tell
a
you
goal
what I'm
one
talking
more time.
about.
I swear. Al Johnson's going to be in the NFL Hall of Fame. And Matthew Stafford can't even capitalize that.
Hey folks, Bob Baker here with the Druid City Brewing Company. People always ask us, how do you guys make that beer? You'd be surprised how simple it is, and in fact, you're gonna do it right in your own home. Take some cereal, some water, some yeast, a small container of what we call mystery compound X, and blend it together until it's all creamy. The last ingredient is just a dash of radiation right in your own microwave. Ah, a delicious wheat beer. Prefer dark? Add a few drops of food coloring. Druid City Brewing Company. It's just that simple.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Let's take a quick break from all the Super Bowl mania and take an even quicker break to discuss our favorite teams and, of course, why they broke our heart yet again this year. Brandon, you're up first with the Oakland Raiders.
The Oakland Raiders, at one point in time, were one of the most feared teams in the league. The assassin, Jack Tatum, Kenny, the Snake, Stabler. Now, let me tell you something. They were outlaws, castaways, and human monsters that won championships at all costs. That was then, and this is now, ladies and gentlemen. This is the era of Jamarcus Russell sacking himself on a drop back. This is the era where I bought a Rolando McClain jersey on the internet, and he was arrested and off the team before it even arrived at my house. That's right, folks. But, you know, things are turning around. We got the most promising quarterback of the last few years at the helm, and we went all the way to London just to get him hobbled by the legendary, formidable Miami Dolphins defense. Our coach was fired after 4 games this year. Tony Sparano, former Miami Dolphins head coach, led us to a legendary 3-13 season that will be talked about at least for the rest of this monologue, which is great because we got a whole bunch of players that are not going to be on the team after this offseason, and we got a whole bunch of rookies that'll be hurt before they play another snap. Hell, I expect a lot of guys to twist ankles playing basketball with their kids this season. Now, can't wait until next year. Back to you, Zach.
Seth, why are Brandon's hopes and dreams unfounded and stupid?
Well, to best answer that question, allow me to channel the ghost of Al Davis. Get Frank Gore from the free agency. He'd be a great pickup. MJD is good.
Now, Brandon, let me ask you this question. Would you still be a Raiders fan if they become the L.A., Austin, Texas, or San Antonio Raiders?
I'm a Raiders fan that lives in Birmingham, Alabama, and I'm going to say something my daddy always said to me when I was growing up. Not my city, not my problem, all right? They've never been the Birmingham Raiders. Hell, they're never going to be the Birmingham Raiders, so I don't care where they play from. Uzbekistan, Nigerbekistan, wherever Uzbekistan you want to go, the Raiders can go there, and I'll still be a fan. Back to you, Zach.
Thank you, Brandon. This year, yet another Bay Area Dynamo has a meltdown season. That's right, the 49ers send the oldest working man in football, Frank Gore, to the free agent old folks home, and almost certainly to the Oakland Raiders. Is Colin Kaepernick imploding? If you call having your lowest QBR as a starter, throwing more interceptions than ever, and rushing for fewer touchdowns than Ryan Fitzpatrick imploding, then you're bet your ass he damn imploded. Jim Harbaugh goes to greener pastures, a Michigan team. A Michigan team that hasn't been relevant since before iPods were a thing.
Look at the Michigan man.
Don't worry, we've already got a new coach, the old defensive line coach and fellow Jim Tomsula. Tomsula? Tom Sula. Give me a Tom Sula. Tom Sula? Tom Sula? Three Tom Sulas right over here. I think that's a great idea. Keep the defense a-rolling, because guess what? Your offense is about as good as a dumpster fire. 21st in yards per game and 25th in points per game. That's right. 3 of the 4 NFC South teams. That's right. The NFC South, the worst division in college football and professional football, are better in offense than the San Francisco 49ers. But hey, I guess we've got another 4-12 season coming right up the hill. Someone's got to be worse than the Rams. Seth, what you got for me?
Well, when I was a young man, I spent many winters in Chicago. It's cold, barren, terrible place, and the only thing that keeps the people up there from curling into balls and dying is the beloved Chicago football Bears. Unfortunately, the Chicago Bears suck, and they suck because Jay Cutler sucks. He is an apathetic, disrespectful losing machine. He's got no fight, no sand, and no gumption. He just loses football games, and what's worse is the complacent look on his face during every loss. He just stares off with his dead raccoon eyes, counting down the long seconds between him and his post-game cigarette. And what really blows me away is this guy's longevity. He's been in the league for 9 years, being one of the crappiest quarterbacks around. He is 61-55 as a starter. That's a winning percentage amongst qualified quarterbacks, tied with Kyle Orton. I mean, and nobody in the Bears organization has noticed how bad he is. He has thrown the highest rate of interceptions, with the exception of Mark Sanchez, since his inception in the league. Nobody does it worse. But the Bears shelled out the biggest contract in NFL history on this guy. They're 2020. It's like they have Peyton Manning on their team or something. They just don't get it. Like, who's the guy we want to pay all the money we have to? The worst player on the offense? Bingo. Here to discuss this
change, you filthy animal.
Here to discuss this record-breaking contract is Mr. Jay Cutler himself. Hi, Jay. Hi, Seth. Hi, Zach. Hi, Brandon.
Nice to meet you, Mr. Cutler.
So, Jay, how's it feel to be the highest-paid athlete in the NFL? Feels pretty good, man. Oh, yeah? I just bet it does. Well, tell me, what do you think you've done to deserve this record-breaking contract, Jay? One time in the NFC Divisional Championship game, I threw 6 for 14, 80 yards and 1 pick. That's not a very good game. Did you win? No. I've only ever won 1 playoff game. That's not a very good percentage for someone who's been in the league for 10 years, is it? No. Well, you seem pretty happy with that. It's as many as Kyle Orton. Kyle Orton, you mean the guy who took your job at Denver? Whatever. Jay, you want me to light that smoke for you, man? You look like you could use one. Yeah, I could go for a smoke. Sounds good. Oh, Jay, your hair product's on fire. What? No, it's not. Jay, your head's on fire. Stop, drop, and roll. Maybe it'll burn itself out. Jay, your head is on fire. You'll be consumed with flames and die. Well, whatever. Win some, lose some. See you guys in preseason. Jay, man, are you sure it's okay? Yeah, I said it's fine. RELAX. Well, when you put it that way, I guess I will relax. See you later, Jay. Bye. Bye, Jay.
Thank you, Seth. And, of course, Mr. Jay Cutler, everybody. Now, just before we get back to the Super Bowl, we'd like to take a bit to visit another time and place in this week's This week in Transdimensional Sports. There we go. As you all know, we here at Sports Jerks not only report on all the sports you know and love from this world, but from every world. From Earth 2 to the astral plane and all the way back to the universe where Brett Favre sold pants first and was also a 15-foot tall grizzly bear. Let's do this. Woo! Sidney Crosby, center for the Pittsburgh Penguins, opens up the season and the portal to hell after scoring 5 goals in the shape of a pentagram on the ice. The Penguins lost to the Red Wings that day, 666-5, after Xantar the Unliving joined the Detroit Red Wings for the final period.
Master P takes the Charlotte Bobcats to their 15th NBA national title. As he hoists the trophy, he declares the rest of the league is not bout it, and hands out free ice cream to everyone in attendance.
Last night in the World Championship of Cockfights, Peter North was defeated by Lexington Steel.
The Waste Management Phoenix Cup was decided in a split decision, going to PGA legend Arnold Palmer's brain in youngest PGA star Jordan Spieth's body. When asked how it felt, the two replied, "I'm back, fuckers, and I'm back, and there's nothing you can... Get out of my head! Get out of my head!"
Upon defeating the 1980 U.S. Olympic hockey team in the reverse Miracle on Ice, the USSR declares that they have won the Cold War as Americans file out of the arena and into the breadline.
Heavyweight contender Deontay Wilder was defeated in the first round of a match in Las Vegas last night. The victor, Concussotron, claimed the hit was 1-for-1 with a 100% knockout rate.
The yearly gladiatorial event, the NFL Pro Bowl, garnered huge ratings again. Game MVP and sole survivor Jamal Charles told reporters, "I'd just like to thank my coaches for getting me ready to murder my opponents, teammates, and close personal friends in a game that has almost no bearing on the season."
Tired of losing the World Championship, the New York Yankees have branched out into other galaxies where they have lost championships on Omicron Persei 8, the planet from Twilight Zone where all the dude jobs were done by women, and other places in the galaxy that do not yet have names but somehow have baseball teams.
And that's all the news we have from the dimensions you can and can't see. We'll be right back after these messages.
Some people say that clean living makes for a clean conscience. That may be so, but there's nothing wrong with getting a little dirty. Because let me tell you the thing about dirt. It always washes off in the morning. Left Hand Soap Company, washing away last night's sins since 1999.
We're back, ladies and gentlemen, and we're done with all the bull mess. No more dilly-dallying, baby boys. This is the Super Bowl!
Oh, yeah!
Here it comes, man.
The big game draws ever closer. Tom Brady and Coach Belichick are on course to have the greatest partnership in NFL history, which is good news for the Patriots since every state in New England has already legalized gay marriage. They face off against Richard Sherman, the Legion of Boom, and Pete Carroll's goofy, miraculous offense. Russell Wilson better get those lucky underwear clean because he'll need every drop of concentrated funk out of his system if he's going to attempt to not throw 4 interceptions again. Here it is, folks, your most obvious Super Bowl team since the guy coaching had the trophy named after him. The AFC's New England Patriots versus the NFC's Seattle Seahawks in Super Bowl XLIX. Seth, you love the NFC, and Brandon, you love the AFC. So let's flip this on its head. Seth, you have the Pats. Brandon, you have the Seahawks. Call it in the air, gentlemen.
Quarter.
Heads.
Seth, you're going to win. Let's hear those keys to success.
Patriots, key to success. Offensively, there's a few key things that have to happen. First of all, Tom Brady has to be his regular terrific self, distributing the football effectively, making the defense pay for its mistakes. This is not a defense that you're going to be able to go for the big play every single throw. You're going to have to take what they give you. That all starts with Rob Gronkowski. Rob Gronkowski is a monster. We all know that. 1,100 yards, 12 scores this regular season, 2 more TDs in the postseason. Hauled in 7 first downs in his last 2 games. He is excellent. But not just that. He is the best blocking tight end in the entire league. Not only that, he draws double coverage on nearly every single play. He is the facilitator, the lubricant that helps this Patriots offense slide into the end zone of the opposing team. He is going to, well, I wouldn't be surprised if we see him split out wide, drawing safety Cam Chancellor into the outside, not letting him clog up the box and stuff the defensive running game. If that happens, don't be surprised if you see LeGarrette Blount taking advantage of gaps in the middle and single coverage on the outside, allowing LaFell, Amendola, and Edelman to get open and make some plays on this very tough Legion of Doom. Defensively, it all comes down to stopping Marshawn Lynch. Marshawn Lynch is powerful. He's explosive. He's tough to bring down. Up the middle, the Patriots are very strong with big-bodied Vince Wilfork soaking up most of those runs. But on the edge, it's going to be a challenge for Dante Hightower to chase down Marshawn and bring him down before those big play yardage start to add up. That's what I got.
Great. Another person on the Patriots bandwagon. What's next? Everyone thinking the Bruins are wicked awesome and believing our founding fathers weren't drunk as shit at the Boston Tea Party? Yeah, I'm sure they weren't. Brandon, keys to success, Seattle Seahawks.
Seattle Seahawks don't know how to relax, and that's a fact. The Legion of Boom may be hyper, may be for real, but all we know is that the Seahawks have made it to the Super Bowl for the past 2 years. The Seahawks' bad defense has been historically good. Certainly overall the best in the league, giving up the least yards and points to opposing teams for both 2013 and 2014. Russell Wilson may be young and may make mistakes, but under Pete Carroll, he's 36-12. Hell, under himself, he's also 36-12.
Hell yeah.
All right, regular season with 2 NFC championships and a Super Bowl under his belt, and he's barely shaven at this point in his life. 75% of the games he's played in the NFL, he's won. Not to mention Oakland native, beast mode Marshawn, the Martian Lynch. He's a guy who runs touchdowns, and he does it very well, steamrolling opposing players. I don't think that anyone's going to say the Seahawks don't deserve to win the Super Bowl.
They don't deserve to win this Super Bowl.
I do believe that the Seahawks deserve to be in this Super Bowl. They deserve to win the Super Bowl, but they might not win the Super Bowl. The last key to success for the Seahawks in this Super Bowl is to bring me the head of Tom Brady. The boys in that front seven have to put some pressure on Tom Brady. You can't win a game if you got a fat man in your face the whole time. The front seven and the secondary work in a sort of symbiotic relationship. The quarterback, if he has all day to throw, the receivers are going to get open. You got to put pressure on him with the front seven. However, if the secondary is garbage, Tom Brady's going to be throwing all over the field. Hell, he might throw a couple into the audience, give somebody a nice souvenir to take home with him. I'm going to tell you right now, the Tom Brady isn't dead by the end of this game. Seahawks have no chance. Back to you, Zach.
Sure. Why don't we all just head to Seattle and start screaming our heads off for the team that has about as much sports history and prestige as DeLorean had car-making expertise? I get it. You're the loudest pro stadium. I'd be screaming too if I had practically no idea what was happening on the field. And I don't! So that's all that we have left right now, folks. Our final thoughts and predictions for the end of this game. Ladies and gentlemen, this is it. Super Bowl 49. Like I said, our fat lady is singing in the corner, and we've just got a few moments left to tell you what's really on our mind and what we really think is going to happen on that field. Brandon, you have the option to receive.
The NFL has a problem with the players. The men at the top toss these guys out like yesterday's newspaper. They give players a choice between painkillers and not playing at all. Players are still being hounded for smoking reefer instead of pumping themselves full of pills and leaving with several concussions, crippling debt, and a drug addiction. Goodell insists on player safety, yet he has scheduled more Thursday night games than ever before this past season, and players have less time to recover from their Sunday night game going into these Thursday night games. Things have to be fixed. For the Super Bowl, I believe that the Seattle Seahawks are going to lose 27-25.
Bold predictions and insightful commentary. Seth, you're up.
Tom Brady is playing for his legacy today. If he wins this game, he will have become the greatest quarterback in the history of the game. Let's take a moment to consider his resume. Already, 3-time Super Bowl champ, 2-time Super Bowl MVP, 6 times an AFC champion, 2-time NFL MVP, 2-time passing title winner, 10 times a Pro Bowler, 2 NFL Offensive Players of the Year. He has beaten all 31 other NFL teams. No team has a winning record against him. He is 20-8 in the postseason, a best. No quarterback has more touchdowns, wins, or completions than Tom Brady in the postseason. He has an NFL best 773 winning percentage. He wins more than 3/4 of his games. If Brady can take this one home, he will be 4-2 in the Super Bowl. He will win 4 quarterbacks, putting him on the same 3-fingered hand as Terry Bradshaw, Joe Montana, and Tom Brady. Now, to me, and to everybody else in the world, it's a huge difference between going 4-2 in the Super Bowl and going 3-3 in the Super Bowl. He's lost his last 2 Super Bowl games. Not going to happen this time. He is going to win it. He's going to become the greatest quarterback in the history of the NFL. All hail terrific Tom. My prediction, 39-25.
Bold predictions from an even bolder man. Ladies and gentlemen, fans and news people, can we please once and for all stop talking about Deflategate? In fact, that is the last time those words ever come out of my mouth. At no point was this ever a news story. In fact, it's very obvious that that's all that this was a bad attempt at covering up a slow news week. Oh, I'm sorry, was the NCAA North-South senior game not interesting enough? Does no one really care about the Pro Bowl? Oh, did you know that Roger Federer lost to a practical unknown in the Australian Open? Who gives a shit? The Patriots might have cheated, or they just have an absent-minded equipment management team. Either way, it's more important to drone on about a game that the Colts couldn't have won if Andrew Luck had thrown balls filled with 13 psi of fairy dust than to talk about, you know what, anything else. Maybe when we put this silly shit behind us, we can finally start talking about and even tackling some of the more pressing issues of the NFL. Issues maybe like, domestic violence and drug abuse. But guess what? Did the Patriots cheat? Probably. Will anything happen to them? Almost certainly not. Do I want Brady and Belichick's names and careers tarnished by a seemingly inconsequential error? You are damn straight. Fuck the Patriots. Fuck both of you. The Seahawks are going 2 for 2. And you know what? 17-13. Bam. Low-scoring game. Seahawks over the both of you guys and the Patriots. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it. That's all the time we have for tonight. I'm Zach Travis, Brandon Varner, Seth Key, Marvin Video, Tuscaloosa, and of course, Druid City Brewing Company for having us here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, good night, good luck, and enjoy Super Bowl 49! Woo! Should all acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should all acquaintance be forgot and fuck the Patriots? Woo!
Oh, my good God damn it.